New reports about NATO and about our three-letter agencies causing major problems in Ukraine. We wonder why. I do. I wonder why our politicians want to send our kids to die over in Ukraine. You know, they always said there would be no boots on the ground in Ukraine to fight against Russia. Well, they're all lying because of what just happened. A major bombshell report just came out that's going to ensure us into a world war. Let's jump into it. Why and what this report says. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. That does help us stay in the algorithm here and share our message across YouTube. Our goal is to bring you content that hopefully helps you and your family prepare and know that you can take care of your family and be sustainable and try to gain wisdom and a common sense approach in the world that we live in. Now let's talk about these two stories. First story, a bombshell report says that our CIA has been in Ukraine for the last decade. Well, we know that because Ukraine has had us there. We've kind of helped the regime change back in 2014 with Obama and Biden first. Now here's the thing though, that's the new bombshell report. They've been trying to get this regime change. They've been trying to cause problems for Russia since then. What threw a wrench in it was Trump. They had to tiptoe. The report says the CIA had to tiptoe around Trump. Now here's the problem. Trump elected people like Pompeo and Bolton, who were all for this. Shows that Trump probably didn't make the best selections when it comes to who he hired in his own cabinet. I hope he'll do better the second time. But he was against this. But remember, it shows that our government is ran by a uniparty. So no matter who gets in charge, unless you're willing to tear it all down, almost like Javier Milei in Argentina or Bukele in El Salvador, you're not going to be able to control it. And I think that's why they don't want to see Trump back in, because I believe he's finally realized that he wasn't part of the problem, but the problem was a lot bigger than he thought it was. So now there's a report showing that we've been there since 2014 trying to cause war, basically, with Russia. Now, I've yet to understand that. I don't understand why our CIA puts us in precarious situations other than the fact of money and power across the world. It really shows how bad sometimes our three-letter agencies are and how they don't work for American people. They work for the big players. But this report shows that they have been causing issues and putting spy bases all over Ukraine. This kind of goes back to the Biden-Obama situation and all the stuff that has now become true that Trump was trying to shed light on. Now, here's the thing that rattles everybody's cage. What did Russia say to NATO? What did Russia say about Ukraine? Do not accept Ukraine into NATO, or you will see a catastrophic event happen. You will see threats of not only nuclear war, but a true world war. And guess what we're doing? Just last night, a report came out and said that NATO now will take in Ukraine. Now, this was just over, 6-8 months ago when NATO voted not to accept Ukraine. But all of a sudden now there must be more money flowing to all these countries and flowing to all these leaders that now they're going to accept them. They're going to accept Ukraine into NATO. Now, here's the thing. What does that mean? Why is that such a big deal? Because now that obligates your military age men from all these countries, including America. You watch, you will see American troops on the ground in Ukraine to fight for a border. Isn't that funny? For us to spend billions of dollars and to fight for a border that when we're sitting, I'm sitting 8 hours, 9 hours from a border that's unprotected here in our own neck of the woods in America, at Texas. But no, we want to send billions of dollars and our kids, our 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids over there to die for a border that's going to threaten a nuclear war in Ukraine. Look at the history of Zelensky. This guy was not even really popular at all in Ukraine. He was an actor, really an absolute joke. But you know what? Our leadership is so powerful and have so much money that all of a sudden they installed this guy to pretty much run this war. And now Medvedev and Putin have both said, if you put Ukraine in NATO, be ready for a bigger escalation. And even there was a threat of nuclear. Is this what we want? Who signed up for this? Did American people vote to go to war? No, but here's the thing. We elect these bureaucrats, and these bureaucrats are all bought off by the military state to then turn around and send our kids over to basically fight a battle for someone that we don't even know. Most people couldn't even find Ukraine on a map. Probably most people can't even find Russia on a map. Sadly, we are now signing up to pretty much send all our kids over there. Because now if we allow them into NATO, then here's what's going to say. Here's what's going to happen. Oh, well, you know, we're obligated to help them. We're obligated to help them to stop the threat of Russia. All the while, Russia hadn't moved. Russia did not move into all these countries. We moved closer to them. Do y'all not realize that? You know what's so crazy? 30 years ago when Bill Clinton was president, did you know Russia wanted to join NATO? Did you know Russia wanted to work with NATO? You know what that had done? That would have solved the problem. NATO was really to keep Russia at bay. Russia wanted to join us. So that would have shown all the world powers working together. And now we declined them, and now we're seeing threats of a nuclear war. It almost makes me throw up. I get nauseous about it because to me, the bad players in this situation is not just Russia. It's America's bureaucracy and America's CIA playing this to where our kids will die for them one day. But we're allowing our country just to be flooded with people all the time while by people like Schumer and McConnell are over there kissing the feet of Ukrainian leaders, wearing their ties, their yellow and blue ties, and their blue blazers. It makes me want to throw up. I get so furious. I try to keep these videos calm, but it blows my mind that these leaders get up and they say, well, we're going to accept Ukraine into NATO. It almost makes me nauseous. Because what that means is now our kids will die for a Russia-Ukraine border to then turn around and try to get Russia and Putin out of power, basically, and take them from leadership across the world from being a superpower. All the while, we will see more people die. And it will be people that are part of our families for nothing. For nothing. When we should have just stayed ourselves out of it. We caused this. 2014, we started this movement a decade ago to cause war in Russia, Ukraine. And now people are dying for it. So mark my words. Bombshell Report comes out that this has been planned for 10 years. American CIA has done that, has planned it. They tiptoed around Trump because of leadership in the CIA and in the national security states such as Bolton and Pompeo. Now all of a sudden, you are seeing the escalation of it. That's why they did not want Trump to win a second term. That's why Trump has been so ostracized and so put in a corner himself here in America, because he abrupted all that. And they know if all of a sudden Trump did win 2020, he would have not allowed this to take place. But hey, it goes according to plan, because to me, what Trump did not do, what he failed to do is realize not only did we have a swamp, we had a swamp that overtook him. Not that he can't overtake it, and I think that's why I think they don't want to see him come back in 2024, because I do believe that he realizes now this is way bigger than what he thought. But this is a problem that goes on both sides. It is a major unification of one-party system here in America, where it's all about taking advantage of American people, American taxpayers, to then fatten the pockets of people like McConnell, like Crenshaw, like Schumer, and all these other people that go kiss the feet of this Ukrainian leader. Our only hope to not see nuclear war is first and foremost that God intervenes and steps in, and we have a true revival. But it's not going to happen with the leadership we have with Biden, with Newsom, or with Obama. It's going to happen by someone else. Now, I don't know if that's Trump. I do believe he did a great job 2016, 2020. I do believe that it was way bigger than what he thought. And I do believe they're going to do everything to keep him out of power. So I don't know if he'll win. But here's what I do know. If we don't get better leadership in America, you will see nuclear war. You will see your kids die in Ukraine. And you will see our border flooded. That's not fear-mongering. That's reality. I have the most people, they'll come on here and say, oh, he's just fear-mongering. No, I'm telling you reality. 10 years ago, read the report. 10 years ago, our CIA has been in Ukraine doing spy events in Russia. Now, what's amazing is we have spy balloons flying over America. Wouldn't you think our CIA and FBI and DHS would worry about the spy balloons here in our own border instead of worrying about what happens in Ukraine and Russia? You would think. It just blows my mind. This play, and here's what's going to happen. If you see this play actually work, no matter how many people die, if you see us actually be successful in this situation and send our troops over there and all of a sudden we end up taking out the leader of Russia, be looking for Taiwan and China next. Just be ready that America is putting your kids in war. So you better be doing all you can to protect your children, to prepare your children, to live sustainable lives and not have to depend on this government. Because I'm telling you, what's going to happen is you're going to see things like drafts come up because no one's joining the military. But if this government keeps putting us in war, they're going to have to turn around and put the draft back in because there's not enough people to fight the battles that they want to fight. And it's not for American sovereignty. This has nothing to do with American sovereignty. You can hear all the politicians like the Lindsey Grahams and McConnells on the right and the people like Schumer on the left. But this has nothing to do with American sovereignty. Ukraine and Russia is no threat to America. But this Mexican border is. The Chinese nationalists come across the border is. The terrorists coming across the border is. But they're not worried about that. They're worried about Ukraine. So you don't believe this is not going to escalate into World War III when we say, okay, yes, we accept you into NATO. Well, that obligates us to send our kids over there and us to send more money. So I guess we need to write the check and send our kids over there. That's what's going to happen, guys. Mark my words. Unless Trump wins and unless God just puts his hand on the whole situation, be ready for a world war. I hate to start your Monday off like that. It's not about fear-mongering anymore. It's about the truth and reality of the situation that now your government has put America in. Precarious. So now we're putting our kids in harm's way for them to get bombed, to then for our whole Congress at that point say, well, we've got to go to war. That's how it happens. We cause the problems to then cause the spark. The spark then comes back and backfires on us, so then we can put our whole army in there for 20 years like we did in the Middle East. It's coming, mark my words. I hope I'm wrong. I hope one day you can look back at this video and say, man, that guy didn't know anything. I hope that's right. I hope I am completely wrong. But sadly, I don't think I am, because if you look at history, that's about what happened in every situation. We put ourselves in a precarious situation, and then all of a sudden, it sparks up, and the war starts. Give me your thoughts. Am I wrong? Should I be mad? To be honest with you, I'm very upset. I'm so mad because all I want to do, I want to see a sunrise over my farm. I want to raise my children the best way I know how. I want to live in a free America. But no, our leadership, it could care less about all that. They care about fattening their own pockets and sending our kids to war. It's pathetic. Let me know your thoughts. I hope I'm wrong. I hope one day, gosh, I hope one day people say, Colby, you were an idiot. You knew nothing. That's what I hope. But until then, all the signs are showing that exactly what I'm saying is happening. And not about fear, it's about reality. So now it takes you preparing. It takes you trying to make some decisions for you and your family, because guess what? It's not going to get easier from here. So protect yourself, prepare yourself, start living sustainable and trying to get out of debt and start trying to do the things to protect your family. Because I'm scared to see harder times will come for America, and there may be some attacks coming here because now we're putting ourselves even more in a volatile spot. All the while we're allowing our border to stay open. Come on, let's let everybody cross the border. Cross. Doesn't matter anymore. We're worried about the border in Ukraine. There's the rant for the day. I wasn't planning on being all hot and mad, but sometimes I just get chapped. So, you know, the only thing we can do is pray and hope that God intervenes. Sad to say, America seems to never be in the end times in the Bible, and sometimes I wonder how America would check out. And sometimes I see things like this to where this just weakens us, because there's just no value in us going to war over in the middle of nowhere, somewhere way away from us that has no threat, no bearing. This is why America has no power, because we put all our power and all our resources across the world instead of worrying about America. And it breaks my heart. You stop lobbyists, you start having term limits, and you start having unbought out politicians, you'd see changes. But until then, there will be no changes. And we will send our kids to war. Escalation is here, guys. Hate to tell you, but go back and look at it. When NATO accepts new countries, it threatens others. And now you will see a bigger war. Let me know your thoughts. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.